On for a special YouTube exclusive episode here. I'm going to do some predictions on the NFL 2023 playoffs. So, without further ado, let's get started. We have the Seattle Seahawks at the 49ers, and I'm going to honestly right now here. This is an interesting game. Seahawks, they've been up and down a lot here. They sneaked in after having a little down half, and the 49ers on the other hand here, massive hot streak, kept it going. So on this one, I'm going to go with the 49ers. They are going to probably win pretty good here, I bet. I think Brock Purdy's going to have another win in him, and they're going to go on to the divisional round. The next game here we have, which is later tonight, here we have the Chargers and the Jaguars. Now this is going to be interesting, too. Very interesting teams, very young. They are first times in the playoffs, and they're Jacksonville. Had the first overall pick this offseason. Now they're in the playoffs. So this is a very interesting. Trevor Lawrence finally has shown up and has became what all the fans there have been hoping for. And honestly, when you get good coaching, like actual coaching and not Urban Meyer, you're going to be a better team. And Doug Peterson is a spectacular coach. Honestly, I'm not going to say Philly made a massive mistake firing him, but it wasn't the best decision in the world, in my opinion. I think Sirianni's he's good. He's done well for them, but I think Peterson's better than Sirianni. I'm gonna be honest with you. He definitely Sirianni has been a questionable hire for the most part. They had a great season this year, but how much of it's the talent? Honestly, I think a lot of it's more just the talent rather than the coaching there. But in this, LA and Jacksonville matchup, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think they're overall a better team. But I think T-Law and the Jacksonville Jaguars will be back before you know it. I'm going to be honest with you. That whole AFC South division, it's become a joke. And Jacksonville's finally showing signs of life now. Their young talent's starting to come up. They'll have more. But yeah, they're going to be, I think they are going to actually become a very good team here in around 2 more years. But it's nice for them to get some playoff experience on their belts, but I think San Diego is going to win that. And Justin Herbert's finally going to get himself a win. Next up here, I think, let's look here, see what the schedule is. I'm trying to make sure we get it in order here. Because after we get to this round, it won't be in order, because we don't know what exactly it'll be. But I'm just going to get that in order right now. Alright, so Dolphins, Bills. Here's the thing about the Dolphins. They fell apart, and they stink without Tua. Skylar Thompson is a joke, and he's just not good. And the only reason they made it to the playoffs was because the refs handed to him. Honestly, the Jets were driving down the field, and there was so many missed calls at the last drive that they shouldn't have won. They did. Honestly, the Steelers or the Patriots should be in here, not the Dolphins, honestly. I think the Steelers were a lot better than the Dolphins, especially right now. They lost early on, but if they would have played now, they would have got, not killed, but they would have lost to the Steelers. This team, and now they got to face Buffalo, and Buffalo, honestly, this year, I think it's really going to be it this year. I think this is the year they finally get there. Honestly, when it comes to Super Bowl-wise, I'm going to go Buffalo. The Dolphins without Tua, they stink, honestly. They have good players. The problem is, if you don't have an actual quarterback there, you're not going to do well. And honestly, Tua is a very good quarterback. He's just finally getting his weapons. He just needs to, of course, stay healthy. But I think Tua is a good player, and I think the Dolphins will be back. And they're going to be stiff competition for the Bills for a decent bit here, but that's right now. Their current situation, and what the Bills has just gone through the last few weeks, is the Damar Hamlin situation. If you watched that game last week against the Patriots, they destroyed the Patriots. You can clearly tell they were playing with fire. Now, a couple episodes ago, I think on my podcast, I was, saying that this team is going to play with fire like you've never seen out of this team before. That was on display last Sunday, and it's going to be on display this Sunday as well. Buffalo gets an easy win, and I'm just going to be honest here. This one right here is going to be a blowout. It is not going to be a close game. Next up, we got the Giants, the New York Giants, and the Vikings. So the Giants finally back to the playoffs after a long time under first-year head coach Brian Daboll. And they've had a good season, in my opinion. I think there's been a lot of question marks. There's been some young talent. Are they really gonna be that good here? are they bust now or not? And a lot of them proved they weren't busts. There were massive questions about Saquon Barkley toward the beginning of the year here. Right now, we have no questions. Like, he is finally healthy again, and he is the Saquon they drafted. He is just the beast they got out of Penn State. He has been that this year. Daniel Jones, he has had a very underrated season. I will say that. Is he the best quarterback in the NFL? No. Will he set the one file? No, he's not going to. He's honestly the best person you can compare him to is the guy he replaced, Eli Manning. I'm not gonna say he's a clone of Eli Manning, but it's pretty close. And honestly, the Giants won two of them of Eli Manning, so I would honestly say they can win a Super Bowl. If Daniels, like, they have had a lot of their questions answered. Now the one big weakness is the wide receiving core. It's not very good. We've known that all year. A lot of disappointments there. Kadarius Toney was traded to the Chiefs, and somehow immediately after he left, he got good, which was kind of odd because he was utterly awful in New York. But sometimes a change of scenery can help a player very much. In his part, but yeah, no, they have had a great season, and it's awesome to see that they are finally, back here in the playoffs. They've had a great year, and it's been very impressive to watch what they've done. And the Vikings, on the other hand, here, they have had a very good season, and in the beginning here, they had a very good record. But toward the end here, they started waning. But the thing about this team is, like, they have a lot of talent. And, whenever you have a guy like Justin Jefferson as wide receiver, you're going to be very good on offense. They have Cook. Like, they have a lot of great offensive talent. And the defense is pretty stiff, too. Like, they can, go out there and they can win you games. But lately, it's been really towering off right now. The blowout to the Packers, not last week, but the week before, was pretty embarrassing. Of course, that game also eliminated the Commanders, But, like, they got blown out now. But this is a weird team because, like, they will get blown out in one half and then they'll go down, like, 33-0 and then somehow come back and win. Like, this happened against... They were down big against Buffalo and then they come back and win in overtime. They were down 33-0 against the Colts and came back and win. And then on other weeks, they'll get blown out by a team like the Packers. Like, it's very confusing... When these two teams, they did play in the regular season, it was very close, but, the Vikings pulled out for a last-minute field goal, but it was very close, and I'm honestly, the Vikings, I think they're frauds. Here's the thing, they should not have gotten blown out by the Packers. There were a lot of questionable losses this year by this team. Like, they lost games they should have won. That's why I don't see them as that good. I'm going to go with the Giants here. I think they pull up a surprise upset. Because also the other thing here is Giants very well head coached, and, they're playing very hard now because they have nothing to lose in this game. And I think the Giants are going to play hard. It'll be very close, though. It will be a very close game, but I think this time they are going to edge out. And the next one up here is the Ravens and Bengals. Bengals, just like last year, started out 5-4. Then get insanely hot, and they're back, in a good position right now, like the 3 seed in the playoffs. They're in a spectacularly good position right now. And the team they get to face is a team that has utterly fallen apart, and just right now, it's a dead team for the most part. The Ravens' offense can literally do nothing. Huntley here is just, he's not good. He just is not clicking. They have no actual wide receivers. Like, seriously, their best, person, out, in the field, catching is a tight end. They don't have any wide receivers. They have Rashad Bateman, but the problem is he's hurt. And then the other problem is it's Lamar Jackson. They don't have him. He's not going to play a UCL sprain, and he's been out for a while now. But here's the thing. The Ravens' offense... Without Lamar Jackson, it is one of the worst offenses we've ever seen. The only good part about it right now is literally J.K. Dobbins when he was back. And he didn't even play last year. I think it was more just for rest and stuff, but still. And they're going up against Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd. like that offense, honestly, for the Bengals is like, I would honestly say it's one of the best in the league, if not the best. Like I think it's a better one than the Chiefs right now. Now last year for the Chiefs, I think they were pretty equally matched, and they're still a very close offense. But I think right now the Bengals have the edge when it comes to that. But yeah, like, and right now Baltimore, like, if you have Lamar Jackson, their offense works fine. Like, it's not like it should be. You still expect to be like not as good as like some of the top ones, but like it's not a bad one. But that's most because of Lamar Jackson, going out there and trying to win and help get him the victory. Because honestly, Lamar Jackson is that team. He is literally the Ravens. And if they get rid of him, that team's dead. I think that they're already going to be massively on the decline next year. And you got to pay Lamar Jackson because I don't think he's playing on a franchise tag. And honestly, I don't think he should have to. Like, what he's done for that franchise, like, he hasn't gone to Super Bowls, but, like, he's made that offense, like, actually work well. And if any other quarterback was there, I don't think they could because they have no wide receivers. Like, they have great running backs and a good offensive line, but they don't have wide receivers. So, honestly, but this game here in general, Ravens are very hurt, a lot of injuries. Bengals are pretty healthy. A lot of their offense is back, and it's a lot better than the Ravens. They pretty much blew them out last week, and that's going to happen again on Sunday. So I'm going to give Cincy the win now. Last one here, so the Monday night one here. So we're back with another Monday Night Football one. In the playoff wildcard round is the new thing they introduced last year for the Rams and Cardinals. Well, the LA Rams destroyed the Cardinals pretty good. This matchup here we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this game's interesting. The Cowboys, I still have questions about. They have been very inconsistent, especially a quarterback of Dak Prescott. He has had not a tremendously horrible year, but like a very underwhelming year. Like, he's normally considered a top 10 quarterback. This year, he has not been anywhere close to a top 10 quarterback. They have questions of running back. Like, we got Pollard and Zeke. They both done well and they're both fine for positions, but, Pollard's definitely better, but they won't put him at the starting job. There's been a lot of, they're like, the only really, consistent part this year for them has been Micah Parsons and the defense. The defense has done a good job. Specifically, Micah Parsons has been, and I'll say this here, he is the next TJ Watt type of player. That's the best comparison you can give the guy right now, because he's a great linebacker. He can play linebacker, and he's just all over the place. He'll pass for us. He'll get interceptions. He just reminds me so much of what TJ Watt does. They're very similar players, and and they changed the way a defense looks, and that's what TJ does in Pittsburgh, and that's what Micah Parsons has been doing this year for the Cowboys. But here's the thing. Tampa Bay has a very bad O-line, but they do have good players. They're still not that bad of a team. The problem right now is they have a very struggling O-line. That's honestly, everyone's been like, Brady is awful this year. He finally stinks and stuff, And I was buying into that for a little bit, but then I started watching. On Christmas, I was watching the game and I realized this O-line is pretty awful. I've noticed it against the Steelers too, but then again, the Steelers have a good pass rush for the most part. But the Cardinals don't. And I noticed this, I remember, they've had so many injuries on the O-line. That's probably the reason why they've been so awful on offense, is because the O-line is injured to hell and back. But here's the thing also, these teams did play, and Tampa Bay won in the regular season. And there's another stat here too, that Tom Brady, I think he's 7-0 against the Cowboys. He's never lost against them. And knowing Tom Brady and knowing the playoffs, I'm going to go Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm here. Cowboys, they're not as good as they were last. Last year was their shot. They blew it. They're going to be on the decline. And honestly, right now, the only good part I see about that franchise for its future was Micah Parsons. Other than that, Dak's looking like he's on the decline. Zeke's on the decline. You have Tony Pollard. And that's, he's been good. He's been doing good. Yeah. But then you also got CeeDee Lamb, who's been and the whole wide receiving core has been a massive disappointment this year. There's been a lot of disappointment for them. And I think we're going to see some playoff disappointment once again for them. Last year, blew against the 49ers in the wild card round, and this year at home, actually, no, they're away, my mistake. But they're still going to blow it here, I think, against Tampa Bay. Alright, so moving on in here to the divisional round. Let's start with the weakest one here. Let's do New York Giants and San Francisco. I've talked about both these teams. San Fran, very hot. New York, very well had very good coach team, but I think the high-end talent's going to prevail over the Giants. So I'm going to take San Fran, and they're going to take one of the two spots in the NFC Championship. So let's move on here next to Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers. Now this one's interesting here. I think this will actually be a very fun game to watch. Both times they've played this year, it's been an exciting game to watch against both teams. Chiefs have won both times, but they've been offensive showdowns. So they've been definitely interesting. Let me see if I can look them up here, because they were both pretty close if I remember correctly here. So I'm going to take a look at the score here and let's see what exactly it was. But if I remember correctly, they both got pretty close, and they're both very big offensive showdowns. And I think this, when it happens in the playoffs here, because I really think this is what we're going to see, it's going to be a very interesting one to watch. Yeah, no. But the most recent one in November, Chiefs won, but it was 30-27. And at the beginning of the year, it's 24-7. Like, they're both in 3-point games. So this one can go either way, honestly. I really think this one goes either way. But I think playoff experience comes in and the Chiefs do win it. So the Chiefs get one of the spots here. So now let's move up to the other NFC spot. Here we have the Philadelphia Eagles against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And on this one here, I'm going to just say, I think Tom Brady, he's going to use some playoff magic. But the Eagles, they have a lot of talent. And their guys are coming back healthy, honestly. And I don't think that Tampa Bay can keep up with the Eagles and their elite, talent on both ends of the football. Great secondary, decently good pass rush. I think the pass rush has been pretty good this year. Not like top 5 or anything, but it's been a good pass rush. The offense, I'd say top 5 in the league. Great wide receivers in A.J. Brown in his fourth year in Philly after a couple in Tennessee with the Titans. Second year man and former Heisman winner Devontae Smith has had pretty much a great breakout year. Same with Jalen Hurts, the quarterback. He's had a breakout year. Like, a lot of these guys on offense have had breakout years, and I don't think Tampa Bay can match what the Eagles have. So I'm going to go Philly here, and I'll take the second NFC Championship spot. Now, moving on to this interesting one here. The Bengals and the Bills. This is going to be interesting. And just for a lot of reasons, both insanely great offenses. Buffalo also has a very great defense. Cincinnati, not like top 5, but it's a good, solid defense. Like, they have a good defense. It's pretty much, I would say it's very underrated. I will give them that. Like, I would say it's top 10. I don't think it's top 5, but I'd put it right at 6, probably. When it comes to defense, it's just out of the top 5, but it's still a very good defense. Buffalo, top 5 defense, of course. But this is also no one because this is, the game a couple weeks ago that got, canceled due to the Damar Hamlin situation. So that is definitely going to be a lot of thought process between both teams when they play. So it'll be interesting. I think Buffalo wins this because I think they're going to go. I think this is really their year. They have a lot of great talent. The Bengals, they're a very good team right now, but I think they're just playing against momentum. They have a lot of momentum right now, but the Bills, they're going to have more, I think, than them. Like, this is going to be a very interesting game. I don't think it's going to be, it'll be pretty good offense, but at the end, it's going to turn into I think there'll be mainly a defensive slug down, though. But I think there'll definitely be a lot of offense, too. Like, it's going to be a real game. It's one of those games just there's a decent amount of offense, but it's still kind of a defensive game, if you know what I mean. Like, it's in the middle there between a very offensive high game, like, say, Chiefs and Chargers will be, and then, it's not exactly a defensive battle where it's, between, say, the Steelers or Ravens a couple weeks ago, Like, it's going to be, kind of in the middle there, but I think Buffalo wins that, and they take the other spot in the AFC Championship. Alright, so let's move on to the NFC Championship here. Eagles 49ers. I was really thinking earlier today I was going to go with the Eagles on this one. They have a lot of great talent on both sides. But I think the thing with them against San Francisco is momentum is on San Fran's side. They have the great talent. Chris McCaffrey, ever since Gannell has gone off, and I don't think they've lost with him ever since the first game they had him. And the first game they had him, they were playing the Chiefs. And the other thing, too, was he just got traded there on Tuesday. Like, he didn't even have a full week to prepare for that game. And he didn't look that great, but, like, after that game, he looked exactly like the Chris McCaffrey we all know. So I'm going to go San Fran on this here. So I disagreed with one of my friends and said the Eagles were, but thinking more into this matchup, it's going to be San Fran. So San Fran will take the NFC side here for the Super Bowl. And on the AFC side, now this game is going to be at a neutral site if it happens between the two. I think this is what we're going to look at here. I think it's going to be KC Buffalo. So this game, if it happens, which I think it will, is going to be in Atlanta. So now this makes sense for both sides. Like, neither team has, home field advantage. Both these fan bases travel well too. That's the other thing. So I think it's gonna be like 50-50 Bills Mafia and Chiefs Kingdom, basically between those two fans. And this is gonna be an interesting one here, because the thing of KC is, in the regular season they struggle against Buffalo, but in the postseason they do very well against Buffalo. Like they were very close against Buffalo last year. The whole controversial playoff game was they only got the one shot in overtime and won, and the Bills didn't even get to play. Like, I think honestly the Bills would have played, they would have scored a touchdown and that game would have kept going. So, like, the Bills got screwed out of there, honestly. And I think this year, that's all the circumstances the Bills have had, especially recently with Damar Hamlin. Thankfully, he's alright, thankfully now, which has been, honestly, a miracle. So, it's great to see, he's back in Buffalo at home. But they just have momentum. Like, and you saw in Week 18 when they played the Patriots. They had a file. They scored 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. They had 2 of them. Not one, but 2. And one was 101 yards. Like, this team right now is playing with file. Like, I think right now here, honestly, it's going to be Buffalo. Buffalo is the team to win. They are going to be the team that beats the Chiefs. They finally get them after these last 2 years. They finally get them, and they're going to the Super Bowl. Now, here at Super Bowl 57, my picks you see right now, the San Francisco 49ers and the Buffalo Bills. And this is going to be a fun game, especially offensively, defensively. These are the top 2 defenses and some of the best offenses in the league. And right now, I'm going to say in this game here, as we look at it, I'm going to go with Buffalo for the win. So I'm going to say right now, your Super Bowl 57 champs are the Buffalo Bills. Now, why am I going to say that? It's because right now, I think it's going to be the momentum. I think it's going to be Damar Hamlin, the whole incident. It's motivated this team to a point where I don't think you can stop them. They're like a speeding train, and right now, any team that's facing them, it's just the car on the path that can't get out of the way. Like, it's going to be just banned. I think they're going to play with heart and a fire. I know I've said this before in some episodes. I'm going to say it again here, because we saw it in Week 18 against New England. And they're gonna continue to see it, I think. This is a team, honestly, I have honestly thought for a decent bit now here. They're gonna break that course of Buffalo not having the Super Bowl. I think they're getting it very soon, and I think it's this year. I think this is finally your Buffalo Bills fans, Bills Mafia. You again that Super Bowl win. San Francisco, it's technically a great team, but honestly, the other thing here too is I don't trust Shanahan with keeping leads. 28-3 in Super Bowl 51. He was the OC for the Falcons. Super Bowl 54, Mahomes, late comeback, beats them. Chiefs get the Super Bowl ring. Mahomes gets his fourth, which all of us were excited. I was excited to see him once he got his fourth, but after that point, I was like, yeah, let's see someone else, you know what I mean? But, like, they have a lot of great talent and stuff, but here's the thing about Brock Purdy. I don't think he's that spectacular. Like, he's done very well so far, but I think he's going to turn out kind of like Duck Hodges. I think he's going to have this great run, but then he's going to flutter out. And I think this game he flutters out against the Bills' defense. Because the defense he's faced, like, they're okay defenses. I don't think they're that bad. I can look again here, but I think for the most part, what he's played defense-wise isn't anything special. So let's take a look here, Yeah, let's see. Yeah, now, like, see, they've played the Raiders, Commanders, Seahawks, Buccaneers, Dolphins. Like, yeah, these defenses aren't very good. He's been lighting up. Like, I think he's like Duck Hodges, honestly. So, I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills are the champs. I think the Buffalo Bills, they're just a more solid team right now. I think once San Francisco figures out that quarterback situation, then they're a real threat. Maybe Porty is the answer. He definitely still could be. I could be wrong. I feel like he'll probably turn out like kind of like Duck Hodges is, but you never know. He could be the next Brady, like in the sense of a very late round pick comes out, turns out to be a superstar. Like I could see Porty becoming it. Like it's not like I can't see it. I think he could, but I just right now I think he can go either way. He can either end up like Duck Hodges, or he could actually be he could turn into a very good quarterback. Like he has some great potential there. I will say that, but I don't think it's his time yet. Like if he does turn into a great player, which he may, it's not going to be now. It's going to probably be later on, and probably not. I wouldn't even say next year, but I would give it another year. But you still got to see like, can Trey Lance really be good? You got to figure that out. So it's going to be very interesting, but more consistency on the Bills side, and I say Buffalo Bills will win. So that's my playoff predictions for this year. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.